Breaking news! Sir McTominay is now the best player in FPL history. How has that gone and happened then? But let's get out the muck sauce bottle and sprinkle it on all of the other best players in FPL right now. It's the Gameweek 15 Players to Watch. This is the series where I chinwag, I investigate, and I analyse all of best ever players. Usually ones that have just scored all of the points to see if they could be good enough to become your next sexy FPL transfer. Well, spoiler alert, it may or may not contain some Man United players and some Liverpool players, as they've only gone and scored the combined 13 goals between them in just 2 games. So I think they're probably worth a mention, right? Yeah, not hard to predict that one. But before we get into that, let's talk about our sponsor for today, OneFootball. OneFootball is the all-in-one football app with everything you need as a football fan. It keeps you up to date with all of the latest football news from around the world. You can follow teams and players to make sure you never miss out on anything. And you can also use it to follow the Premier League and help you with FPL by checking how the teams have been doing and who's the ones that are in form and out the form, as well as scouting and looking for players to watch, much like I usually do in this series, yeah? By looking at their stats, filtering by competition, and all of that amazing stuff. So if you like what you see, you can click on the link at the top of the video description to download for free today. That's OneFootball, free to get right now. Where this week, and probably like every single game week until we get there, because it's approaching soon, a reminder that there is a humongous double game week in game week 19 and a blank game week in game week 18, which we really need to look at and we really need to focus on. So most of the lucky gentlemen joining us on this list today will be mainly ones that have just done well, but mainly the ones that have a double game week, because you probably want to try and get in some of those players as it's only a couple of weeks away. But if you aren't aware of that, or you don't know what strategy or approach to go for, don't worry lads, Big and Boy has already made an amazing Big and Boy tips video explaining all the different kind of strategies you can do and explaining the whole situation and just get you prepared for it, you know, man? So if you want to go and score easy 200 points those game weeks, go check out the video. Yeah, thanks. But the first players to be suggested by your boy this week is the entire Liverpool Defence. Ooh, like who would have thought that the Liverpool Defence without Van Dijk would still be kind of good? To be fair, I don't think anyone did actually. Well, yeah, okay, they've only kept 4 clean sheets this season. Nothing too amazing to brag about, right? But they've actually not conceded more than 1 goal for like almost 10 weeks now. So I feel like that's maybe just a slight little hint of how good they've been doing and how close they are to clean sheets. So hopefully more coming soon. But lately, all of their defenders' points. Ho ho ho, damn son. Robertson is now the 2nd highest scoring defender in the entire game. More than the beloved Chilwell, which you know every single person has. After he's gone and got back-to-back assists and his 3rd double-digit haul of the season. And it doesn't look like he can't do it every single week, honestly. He's playing that good. Sexy stuff from him. Then Trent Alexander, Sir Trent Crossy Boy. Actually has a bit of a crossing fetish, doesn't he? Always whipping those balls in. And also got an assist this week, where we all know how many points he can get. Quite a lot, apparently. So if he fancies trying to do it every week again, he can do it, you know? Well, remember when he scored 24 points in one FPL game week last year? And it was against Leicester. At the time, we were in like 2nd place. How does a defender do that? Then the final, very surprising inclusion here, if you looked at the start of the season, is the one funny boy, Joel Matip. Where in the last 2 Premier League games that he's played and finished in, he's got a goal and an assist, getting just the 23 FPL points in just those 2 games. Or what? Because he's actually the main deadly threat that Liverpool have right now from corners to get his massive head on to try and get a goal. But the main reason I'm suggesting these Liverpool defenders this week is not only do they play West Brom and then Newcastle in the next 2 games, guaranteed points really, not only are they also a team with a double game week, with both of the games at home as well, but they're just bloody Liverpool, like. The team that are going to keep on stomping on every single other team. The team that are always going to get all the goals, all the clean sheets, and all the everything. And the team that will just give you all of the FPL points. Now, with all of that, it's probably not the worst of ideas to try and get one of these boys in, do you reckon? With that being the case so much with the pool boys, next up on the watch list is the Liverpool Attack, where we have Salah, Mane, and even Firmino making the list. 2020. We've had enough of this strangeness now, alright? It's never ending. But Salah has actually got the most FPL points out of anyone right now. That's right, more than Son and Kane already. And also hasn't blanked once since he had COVID and since he's back from it. And he even managed to get 16 points this game week whilst only playing 30 minutes. What kind of animal is he? And the thing is, he probably could have got more. And the thing is, he could probably do that every week as well. Then there's the boy Mane, who's made a lot of people a Sadio themselves if you've owned him lately in FPL, much like myself. Terrible times. But in that Palace game, he just seemed to be properly on it and seems like he's ready to get back into banging ways. But if you do have the money, you know, Salah is probably the better option just for that penalty security, and he's just really trigger happy, you know, all the things you love in FPL. But with all of their sexy fixtures coming up and the fact they have a double game week, a double up on these might not actually be a bad idea, you know. Then we have Firmino. Oh, sorry, for the no-look special. Ready? Then we have Firmino. That's it. Who actually isn't actually doing that bad at all this season, which, you know, some of you may not think. Where he has actually got 5 goals and 3 assists, and he has actually only got 1 less point than De Bruyne this season. Huh. You know, the geese, that is literally the only point source of Man City and the one that a lot of people really want in right now. But things are just clicking with Liverpool right now and they just seem like they're ready to tear a new one to everybody. As you know, they did just kind of slap Palace silly 7-0, fair play. Who, you know, on their day are one of the best defensively drilled teams in the league. But with their fixtures, with the double coming up soon, it's probably not a case of, shall I get one of them in? It's probably a case on, let's see if I can fit as many of them in as I can. Where, you know, you probably could have a very expensive triple up on 3 Liverpool players, and it probably would give you a lot of points, especially with the run coming up right now. But also, maybe don't do that. Maybe you want to spread it out and just to be safe, you know, which is what I would suggest. But having an attacker and maybe a defender is probably the perfect balance between not putting too many eggs in your basket, but being prepared for all the fixtures and all the doubles. Because actually, in the double, you never know. They play Man United, you know, a bit hard. But then also, even harder, Sean Dyche's Burnley. Oh, Brexit Burnley masterclass incoming, and you don't want all your players to blank in that game too. So, like, you know, be prepared. But Liverpool, all of their players, just the team, are all really players you probably want to try and get in. And the team mainly on the watch list today, with the best boys in town to get right now. With the next players on the watch list this week being the other fellas that did all of the banging this week as well, and also scored all of the goals. It's Man United. Now, if you had Captain Bruno in your team, just like myself, yes, my man, how good was that? Hey, that was a lot of points. But Bruno is literally a lot of points all the time, isn't he? Like, you swear he's just been designed to play FPL. You swear he's been studying fantasy game his entire life to make sure he does every single pass, to make sure he gets all of the assists, and to make sure he's the perfect penalty kick taker to just get the most points possible. Where I'm pretty sure since he's joined the league, he's actually scored more points than any other player. And this season, he is already up to 100 points, and he's only just behind Son, Kane and Salah, and he's played 1 less game. So yeah, not really bad, is it? But then United do also have some other options around, especially in attack, with a Rashford there who, on his day, you know, can be the main man getting all the points for United. Where, you know, the week before last, he scored a brace and Bruno got nothing. You know, sometimes they share it out. Then also the ice-cold Tony Martial, who is finally starting to do bits again after a pretty terrible start, right? Where he scored 10 points the week before last and then 12 points this game week. And he, you know what, he really could have scored more. Like, how did he not score himself? But the best part is, Man United also have a double game week. Woo! Where actually, the United-Liverpool double game week isn't actually as good as it seems, because one of their games, each of them, is playing each other. But you never know, that could just be a lot of goals, you know, best for all parties, you never know. But then Man United also play Fulham in the other one, so actually, still pretty damn good for them. And a Man United team with a lot of confidence is a Man United team with a lot of goals and a lot of FPL points up for grabs, you know? So it probably is quite wise to maybe get one of them in for the double, and also after that as well, because they have some pretty good fixtures coming in. Where obviously Bruno Fernandes is the obvious choice there, where he takes all the shots, gets all the assists, and he is the ultimate penalty merchant, who actually scores more goals from open play than he does penalties, even though he's a penalty merchant and he only scores penalties. See, that's impressive, right? But that is why Man United, and mainly Bruno, is the next players to watch on the watch list here. And then finally, the next set of players, being players that have also done pretty well recently, but also have a double trouble and have a double game week as well. Where we have these in Jamie Vardy party, the Che Adams train, and Rafinha. Jamie Vardy, you know, only the 11 goals so far this season, as well as 6 assists. Well, actually, that's really good, isn't it? And he has also now hit 100 points in total himself as well, where he's just been in pretty damn good form lately, hasn't he? And just finishing off everything that he gets. Now, his fixtures might be questionable on paper. You know, he plays Man United next, and then Palace and Newcastle. Teams Leicester could struggle against, but you just never know with Leicester. They actually do better against the better teams, and then sometimes they lose 5-1, but that one is Vardy goal anyway, so it's alright. But then also, they have a double game week as well, playing against Southampton and Chelsea, who, yeah, doesn't sound amazing for all the FPL points, but actually could be potentially the two perfect teams for how Leicester like to play and how Vardy likes to play in behind. Because, you know, all of the counter-attack opportunities, all the running in behind by Vardy, and just all of the goals, which, you know, will probably happen. And also all of the penalties too, because Vardy is the actual penalty merchant here. So he is definitely someone you should keep an eye on, and if he's keeping up this form, that double game week could be big for him. Then the Che Adams train, which has been going down the tracks pretty damn smoothly this season, where he's got himself 4 goals and 5 assists, and he's only cost 6 million. What? But he also plays Fulham next, who are without one of the best defenders. Then West Ham and Liverpool, who, aren't quite the best. But then also, he has a double game week against Leicester, but then also against Leeds. The Leeds United team that just conceded 6 goals. Yeah, that's definitely enough. So if you're looking for the final recipe and the final piece of your puzzle for one cheap boy that could score all of the goals in the double, Che Adams boy could be that boy. Then finally, it's the Brazilian Neymar Rafinha. I'd just like to clarify, yes, I know he's Brazilian, it's a joke, okay, alright, thank you. Who has been very lively since he's come into this Leeds team and generally looked like he could score a hat-trick like every single game. I'm not even lying. But he not only got 2 assists this game week, he's not only 5.4 million, but he also has a double game week as well. But also, he plays Burnley and West Brom in his next fixtures as well. That literally sounds like everything you need. Up until then, could he be a very, very good option? And I definitely think he's definitely a player you should watch for right now, and one you might want to consider getting in soon if he's still doing as well. And that is it for all the double watchlist players, all the double game week players to watch watchlist players. Where again, if you missed my video on the blank and double game weeks, you're kind of confused what's going on there, or you don't know what chip strategies or whatever other approaches you want to go for, a complete guide on all of that is on my channel, which you can watch right now. But right now, before we end, match attacks time. Ooh, who are we gonna get? We have a forward for Man United. Please be a Gallo, please be a Gallo. Hey! We actually got Igalo! Oh, sorry lads, that's aside. Don't get Bruno, don't get Rashford of the double game week. Get Igalo, man, alright? He's gonna score all of them. Oh, a Barcelona forward. Could it be? Messi! Why is he not a special card? I just packed Messi. I just packed Messi. I don't know what to say. And he's not even a special card. Reece James. I don't care that you're a shiny boy. Messi! Go, 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 go! Thanks for watching. And remember, oh my god, I just packed Messi.
Don't be a cheeky scrub. Subscribe to Nathan Bacon right now. Don't let your memes be dreams.